Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well. It is late at night, 2:49 in the morning, but I just finished our number, that's right, 91 Sophie's Choice, and I didn't want to waste any time in going ahead and recording my thoughts. This is a film that, of course, I've known about for a long time, but just finally watched, okay? And so I wanted to get my thoughts down on video, I guess, while they were fresh. 1982, Sophie's Choice, starring Meryl Streep, Kevin Kline, and Peter, I don't want to mispronounce his name, Peter Magnical, is that right? Anyway, in short, about Stingo, who returns to the United States after having served in the Second World War, moves to Brooklyn to write a novel. It's his aspiration to be a writer. And he meets Sophie Street and Nathan, Kevin Kline, and they become friends, and slowly Stingo learns more about Sophie's experience during the Second World War, especially as she was interned at the Auschwitz concentration camp. She's a Polish refugee, and so the movie is a very serious drama that watches all of this unfold as Stingo learns more about her, and she learns more about him, and the love, and Nathan, and all of this. This movie is on the AFI Top 100, definitely for Meryl Streep. This was her fourth or fifth film, and not her first trip to the Oscars, but she did win Best Actress. The film was nominated for 5 Oscars. The only win it received was Best Actress to Meryl Streep, which was so well deserved. Although Kevin Kline did not do so bad himself, or Peter. Really excellent performances all around. And so I think it definitely belongs on the AFI Top 100 because it captures that, sort of the very beginning of what has become for her now a 30-year-long, tremendously successful career. Also, it is not the only film we have on the AFI Top 100 dealing with the Second World War, and specifically the treatment of Jews or other racial minorities by the Nazi party, the Nazi regime under Adolf Hitler, which is also why this film is so relevant. Number 8 on the AFI Top 100 is Schindler's List, and if you've not seen it, between now and we'll probably get to that in like November or December, go out and watch it. And if you can, or if you've already seen Sophie's Choice, maybe watch it again, refresh yourself, do a little comparing and contrasting. Personally, I did not feel as threatened by Sophie's Choice as I did by Schindler's List. And I noticed, that so much of Sophie's Choice happens in Sophie and Nathan's apartment, or in Stingo's room in Brooklyn in this pink house. And so everything is very intimate, very macro scale, But then you get to Schindler's List, and it's, it just keeps pulling back. The scope of the film keeps pulling back and back and back and back and back, as is Spielberg's MO. And that feels so overwhelming, and of course contrasted against the little girl in the red coat and all of this. And so, Sophie's Choice approaches that subject matter, that delicate, intricate subject matter, in a very different way. I think that's worthwhile remembering that, especially as so many other movies and TV shows have tried to approach it as well. But Sophie's Choice did it in a very unique and intimate way. And I think that's why it really remains relevant today, and also a part of why it deserves a place on the AFI Top 100. there's a lot of spiritual material in this film. Um, Definitely just plain religious talk. But you have so many different themes happening in dialogue, and lots of literature being referenced and displayed for us in conversations and interactions. Um, but something I've thought about in the light of many films reappears for me in Sophie's Choice. Over the course of the film, Sophie sort of makes a confession to Stingo, and every time she tells him something about her past, something serious happens in the storyline. And often I've thought about how this is one of the things in movies that does not play out in real life. Um, of course, maybe you've seen the, like a Nicholas Sparks or a Nora Ephron romantic comedy or just a romance, and at the very end of the movie, finally the lovers embrace. Thinking of like Sleepless in Seattle or You've Got Mail or something like that. Finally, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks hug or kiss, and that they'll finally be together. And we have spent the whole movie watching this unfold. That's the tension that builds in those kinds of films. Finally, at the very end, oh, he said it. He finally said it. And it makes for a great movie. It works beautifully on the screen, but it's something that does not work beautifully in real life. Um, in my own life, I feel that this is played out somewhat, at least in my experience, maybe in yours. When I've had something important to tell someone, I found that, um, unlike wine, it does not age well with time. There's something to be said for patience and prudence, but um, especially when making confession, when saying I'm sorry, you know, uh, waiting is not the best policy, especially if it's something that is going to really reveal a part of yourself, like what Sophie's saying here. And so I see this in light of um, what I believe, we are encouraged to do out of Christian morality, and that is to speak the truth in love to one another, so that we remain honest and, in a sense, transparent. You know, we're not deceiving anyone. We don't put up a front, okay? We don't just act a certain way or do this or that until we feel like telling someone what actually is going on. Um, Again, I'm not saying that everyone you meet has to know your whole story or your whole background, uh, but waiting for the end is not going to play out, okay? Waiting until the end of life to tell someone that you're sorry, or I love you, or I wish that we'd have had this chance, or whatever it is, um, waiting is not going to do it. I've seen this in so many films. I always think about it, like I said, in the rom-coms and all of that, when the very end, and like I said, it just makes for great cinema, but it doesn't make for great relationships. Um, and I just wonder if this movie would have charted the same way if Sophie had, been more open. And yet, of course, it took time for her to gain trust. But then again, you should watch the movie because the conditions of that environment also may have had much to do with why she shared with him when she did. But I just don't want to say any more. I don't want to ruin it for anyone. Bottom line, of the many things that I want to walk away with from this movie, and I'm going to think about it for quite a while, I think, speak the truth in love. Um, Speak the honest truth. Reflect the honesty of your life in love as often as you can. Practice that honest way of living as often as possible. Now it is 2:59, and so it is time for me to go to bed. Number 90, Swing Time, coming up another musical. I'm looking forward to that. And we're just moving right along. We're gonna get into some movies here that I've seen, you know, and so I feel like I maybe have a little more to see. Um, Maybe I should have waited until tomorrow to film this. I don't know. You know how it is after you watch a real dramatic and intense movie, and you just sort of. That's how I felt at the end of There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood. I think I sat on the couch for 10 minutes, just like, you know, it took me some time to recover. But anyway, that's our number 91, AFI Top 100, Sophie's Choice. As always, thank you truly for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you care to. I appreciate that. It helps me to know that you guys are watching and you're enjoying these little videos and reflections, and that you're coming along for the journey to number 1. Okay, hopefully before December 31st of this year. If you missed a movie, all the links to all of these videos are in the description below. You can check that out. There's also a link to the full playlist, okay? That's there for your convenience. It's late. I'm starting to lose my cohesion. I brush my teeth and go to bed. Thank you for watching, friends. Truly hope that you're doing well, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again. Bye.